are going to do the last part for the LO3 today, that is report on the findings of the sustainability audit. In the whole LO3, we discussed about what the sustainability audit is, how we work on it. Now we are going to work on the recommendation parts and what we have concluded and how we can solve the issues. And basically how we take decisions on it. That is what we need to discuss under report as 3.3. So let's begin with it. A report on the findings of the sustainability audit. A sustainability audit evaluates an organization's environmental, social, and economic performance in alignment with the sustainability principles. Now, what it means when we're talking about the audit of sustainability, specifically, we have to look upon the advantages, limitations, the best next opportunity in context of environment, society, and economic indicators. It identifies the strengths and weaknesses, risks, and opportunities to enhance sustainability practices, the same thing which I explained the first thing, the first point. That is the perfect example and explanation for the audibility. In Saudi, the examples are also from Saudi Arabia this time for this lecture. The push for sustainability aligns with the country's Vision 2030 strategy, which emphasizes environmental conservation, reducing dependency on oil, and fostering a sustainable economy. Even recently, I have heard that they have started to list Makkah and Medina publicly listed at the stock exchange for the foreign investment. So it's a very good initiative which Saudi is taking. It is under the Vision 2030 strategy going on. Vast improvements are going on. Introduction. A sustainability audit is a systematic evaluation of an organization's operations to assess their impact on the environment, society, and economy. It focuses on ensuring resource efficiency, reducing waste, and aligning with global sustainability standards like the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals, that is SDGs in total 17. So whatever we are going to work, study, and discuss under audit of sustainability, that is going to be aligned automatically to SDGs. Purpose of the audit, why we go for it. First, to identify areas of non-compliance with sustainability practices. That is the area in which there is a leverage for us. We can go beyond the sustainability work and the what do we call them goals, which are aligned by the UN. To enhance operational efficiency and reduce costs. That is the daily activities and expenses which we go for the organization on the daily basis, and with that we need to reduce the cost as well. To support Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 goals such as renewable energy development, sustainable infrastructure, and resource conservation. Like in Riyadh, there is a construction company. They are actually sustainability construction builders. They take the commercial projects as well and the residential ones both. They're doing really nice. They even got the award as well by the government. Run or something like that. I'll just let you know in a minute. Okay, findings of the sustainability audit. Environmental findings. For the energy usage, excessive energy consumption in the manufacturing plants was noted with a significant carbon footprint from the fossil fuel use. Now, what it means, all the carbon monoxide and biodegradation we do for the recycling purpose, that is also under the headings of environmental findings because we can use energy from any source. For example, in Saudi Arabia, the oil sector dominates energy consumption. Companies like Saudi Aramco have introduced renewable energy initiatives to mitigate the issue. The issue was offered that they were more onto the other resources of the oil, basic oil production, and they really want to go for the saver options. And you all guys know about this company as well, both American and Saudi amalgamation. Water management, inefficient water usage, especially in the agricultural and industrial processes, because water is a niche thing in each and every aspect. For example, in Saudi Arabia's heavy reliance on desalination and raises concerns about the energy intensiveness of these processes, the one which we use for drinking and the other purposes. Waste management, lack of effective recycling programs, and high levels of industrial waste. Why there is a lack in the recycling programs? Because first, it is all based on the awareness aspect. Secondly, it is costly too. For example, the country has launched recycling initiatives like the Saudi Investment Recycling Company to tackle this problem so that they can go far beyond a recycling and they can make the 2030 vision strategy excellent in an excellent way. Then we have social findings, workplace safety, community impact, and economic findings. Inadequate implementation of occupational safety standards, the one which we're using on the daily basis. We need safeguard gears, that is the clothes and uniforms, and the tools and techniques too. Then it comes with limited engagement in community development projects, the one which is the CSR projects for the betterment of the people, for the society. For example, companies like Neom are investing in sustainable communities. I'm very much sure you people know that an excellent project is going on in Saudi right now under the name of Neom. It literally it doesn't look like that it's a part of Saudi Arabia. The people there, the life, the standard is whatever it's going on is an excellent one to balance environmental and social impact, and that is what they're doing at the moment. Economic findings, resource dependency and inefficiency cost, heavy reliance on non-renewable resources like oil, because it's an oil-dependent country. That is why. Poor operational efficiency leading to higher costs. That's true. If you're not balancing your current assets, liabilities, and assets on the daily basis with the expenses, then definitely you will come up with the emergence of cost. Then comes recommendation, short-term recommendations. Conduct energy audits. Perform detailed energy audits to identify areas of excessive energy usage. What you can do, you can have a proper check and balance at where the most energy is being consumed, and we can reduce it. Introduce recycling programs, implement waste segregation and recycling initiatives, industrial zones. That is, you can segregate, differentiate, separate the waste. Because there are different kinds of waste we produce in a company, so we need to eliminate it in a proper way. Educate workforce. Launch awareness campaigns to promote sustainability practices among employees. That is very important. Once you are training the employees, the workers in front of you at a campus or on the campus or off the campus, that is anywhere, somewhere else without the consumption enrollment of your company, that is too as a part of educating a workforce. Long-term recommendations, however, adopt renewable energy, transition to solar and wind energy sources leveraging the country's vast natural resources. Now, what it means that slowly and gradually, most of the countries are swifted towards solar energy and the windmills as well. Why? Because it's free. Secondly, it is way of excellent way to earn a money as well because we can supply energy to the evaporator to the energy houses by making the energy from the sun or wind. For example, Aqua Power has invested in solar farms in Saudi Arabia, significantly contributing to renewable energy growth. Now, that's an excellent initiative. Sustainable infrastructure invest in green buildings and energy efficient machinery. That is the one which is going to be sustained for a longer period of time with the machinery aspect as well. For example, the NEOM project features green urban planning and sustainable architecture as well. And it's an amazing one. Water conservation technologies use smart irrigation systems and wastewater recycling in agriculture industry. Depending on the manual and old and traditional methods, we are shifting towards the modern one. And that's a good initiative because that's the necessity of the time as well. Already the resources, specifically the natural ones, are quite scarce. Reporting formats. Executive summary, a concise overview of the audit findings, recommendations, and expected outcomes. Just like when you guys make the presentation, in the very first two slides, you always write that what will be the key findings, what we are going to discuss. That is what the executive summary is about. Detailed report sections. Introduction. Now, this is the format of the sustainability audit actually. Objectives and scope of the audit. What we are going to learn in it. Methodology, data collection methods and assessment criteria, how you collected the method, what were the methods used to collect the data, and with that, the ACs as well. Criteria of questions. Findings, detailed analysis of the environmental, social, and economic aspect because the sustainability audit is depending on it. Recommendations, proposed actions with justification. Whatsoever you have recommended, you need to justify it, prove it, give your opinion. Implementation plan, that's the timeline, roles, and resource required. Timelines 2, 3 weeks, 6 months, or dignified and designated roles of each and every persons and what the resources are going to be used. Cost analysis is budget estimation for the recommendations. Obviously, in the recommendation, what we did, we talked about the actions, right? So we need money for it. Conclusion summary of the expected benefits. What do we feed? Just like contingency plan, we have contingency benefits as well. Now, this is an outlay. Cost analysis. The cost of sustainability recommendations varies based on the scale of operations. Now, what it means? Okay. We have recommendations, estimated cost, and justification. Now let's start with it. Keeping in mind the same thing that we were working on the sustainability audit, and we talked about solar panel installation, basically consumption from the energy of sun, then water management, waste management system, training and awareness, and water recycling technologies. Now, in an XYZ project, what will be the cost analysis for the solar panel installation? Estimated cost 500,000 Saudi riyals. What is the justification for it? Reduces long-term energy costs and aligns with the Vision 2030 renewable energy goals, because this is one of the goals of Saudi which they are trying to achieve and trying to invest whatever they can. And it will definitely help them to achieve this goal. Then waste management system, 200,000 Saudi riyals, minimizes landfill use and promotes recycling, reducing environmental impact. Definitely, when you're going to instill these things in the management in different corporate sector, then you are going to work on what less use of the recycling materials. We're going to opt for the greener products, and the environmental impact is going to be on a good version because we will be having a nicer impact on it. Then training and awareness, 50,000 Saudi riyals, empowers employees with knowledge about sustainability practices, fostering organizational change. Now, it what means we're going to give a motivation level to the people who work in the organization with giving them the authentic knowledge which they need to work in the organization for different projects associated. Water recycling technology is about 300,000 Saudi riyals. With that, it improves water efficiency. Like we talked in the examples about they have installed a plant sort of thing just to help out the farmers as well, and reduces dependency on the desalination plant as well, and a plant as well in which they purify the water. Their implementation plan, how it looks like, we're going to discuss that. Phase one is about assessment. It takes 3 months. That is 1 month, 2 month, 3 month. It depends. Conduct a gap analysis based on the audit findings. Now, once you have made the audit, sustainability audit, definitely there are going to be some picky points in which you think that there are lack. You need to work on it. That is a gap analysis. Prioritize recommendations and identify quick wins. Definitely, you are going to work on the excellent recommendations and the one which you can achieve way far quickly. Then phase two is about the implementation. It takes 4 to 12 months. What we will be doing in it. Deploy renewable energy sources starting with the pilot projects, that is, starting everything with a scratch again. Roll out the waste management system because we are going to work with a new one. Train staff on sustainability practices. It takes time, it is expensive, it is time taking, but the results are at most excellent. Then phase three, monitoring and evaluation ongoing. You cannot stop it. It starts from the first month till the 12th, like a whole year span, because evaluation and monetization cannot be stopped. Establish key performance indicators to track the progress, like energy consumption reduction, waste recycling rates. Now you're working on a project for the sustainability audit and you're not able to control the consumption of energy, then what is the cause of doing the project and the audit? Perform annual sustainability audit to ensure continuous improvement. And what we can do, the one which we share, or at the start of the month, we can check at the end whether we have achieved milestones or not. Then real life example, NEOM project in Saudi Arabia. NEOM, a key component of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, is an excellent example of sustainability auditing and implementation. Why? Because it incorporates first renewable energy. The city aims to be powered entirely by the solar and wind energy. That's an excellent thing. We're not using any energy from the oil. Circular economy. What it means, emphasize on recycling and minimizing waste. There will be the intervention of the government as well and the household offices too. Smart tech, automated system for the water management and energy conservation, because we are directly depending on what? On the renewable energy. The project serves as a benchmark, uniqueness, innovation for the organizations across Saudi Arabia, showcasing the integration of high sustainability standards in infrastructure development. Why? Because they have gyms, they have excellent cable cars, they have bus, schools, inclusive schools, then a whole cafeteria designated to the people who are there living as the workers, definitely, but their families are too, installed in small homes. And every thing is provided to them. So it's what? It is an excellent integration of sustainability with the infra development because these kinds of homes and structure is not visible in any part of Saudi. Conclusion. A sustainability audit provides a roadmap for organizations to align with the goals like Saudi Vision 2030. By addressing environmental, social, and economic aspects, business can not only reduce their ecological footprint but also achieve long term cost savings and operational efficiency as well. Why? They are not they are able to reduce the ecological footprint because they are working on the factors of economy, culture, society, and the last one was environment. Definitely. Okay. Implementing the recommendations from the sustainability audit requires a clear strategy. When you know that these are your grounds on which you have to work, you are clear about the vision. Adequate funding, enough resource of money, budget, and continuous monitoring, feedback, give and take, and improvement. With Saudi Arabia's increasing focus on sustainability, organizations that adopt these practices will play a crucial role in shaping the country's future as a leader in sustainable development because it's a whole department in an era where the literally the world is moving towards. That's it. Is the lecture clear? Then we will go with the real life example.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Real life scenario sustainability audit in Saudi Aramco. Saudi Aramco, one of the largest oil and gas companies, has been at the forefront of sustainability initiatives in Saudi Arabia, especially in light of the country's Vision 2030 goals. Now, this is the background about the company. Now, working on the sustainability audit. Recognizing the need to reduce its environmental impact, Aramco conducted a comprehensive sustainability audit across its operations, focusing on energy efficiency, emissions reduction, and community impact. Now, they worked on three sectors. First, work on the efficiency of the energy through because they were getting it from gas and oil. Emissions reduction, that is the one which we produce from different work going on, and community impact. Whatsoever they are doing, what it impacts on the community, on the people living nearby. Audit process and findings. Let's read it. Environmental findings. Energy use. The audit revealed excessive energy consumption across its refineries and production facilities, primarily relying on the fossil fuels because they are more into the biodegradation than the other resources. That is why they were relying on it, the dependency. Carbon emission. High levels of greenhouse gas, GHG, emissions were identified, particularly methane leaks, carbon monoxide during production and transportation process because of the logistics and supply chain going on. Water usage, inefficient water management practices were noted with large volumes used in industrial cooling processes because there are big furnaces going on and installed in the organizations and department. That is why they need a lot of consumption of water. Social findings, workplace health and safety. While Aramco had robust safety standards, the audit identified gaps in employee training regarding emergency response for environmental hazards. If something happens, a natural calamity hits, what they will be doing? They need a training. Like in the schools and colleges, we do have drills. Even in the ship, if such some calamity comes, how you're going to cope up with it? Earthquake, flood. Community engagement. Limited outreach programs for fountain rains affected by oil extraction causing community dissatisfaction about local environmental degradation. Because people who do the one which are living in the rural areas and around that suburb, they do get disturbed and affected at the same time. Economic findings, resource dependence. The audit highlighted over reliance on traditional oil production methods, making operations vulnerable to fluctuations in global oil prices. Heavily, the economy is depending first on the oil production and extraction, but with that, what was happening? It was a whole dependency on the oil only. Though we can get energy from the solar, that is the sun, and the wind as well. So we need to diversify our consumption and dependency both. Operational cost, high energy costs were attributed to outdated machinery and inefficient system because we need to upgrade them. The Saudis do for the traditional methods most of the time. So when you're going to install the new things and welcome new stuff, then you need to pay back. Recommendations based on the findings. Environmental recommendations. Renewable energy integration. Transition to the solar and wind power for the operational facilities. That is to cope up with the daily activities going on in the organization, the department. We are going to take energy from what? From the sun and from the wind. Air. Implementation. Aramco has already invested in the Shedcom gas plant solar power project, setting an example for the renewable energy usage they implemented. Carbon capture and storage (CCS) installed CCS technologies to reduce emissions from the refineries, factories. For example, the audit led to the development of CCS systems of the Otamiya gas plant, capturing billions of tons of carbon dioxide annually (CO2). Social recommendations, however, launch community programs focused on the education, environmental awareness, and job creation in the sustainable industries. That is now they have welcomed the international students as well in the universities. They have collaborated with the women as well, just to make sure that we are trying that they try to achieve that 2030 vision goal. For example, Aramco initiated at Green Community Program planting a Green Communities program, millions of clean oil affected areas. That is when they have done the extraction. The soil is quite refined in excellent nutrients. So we can plant a tree. Employee training, develop mandatory sustainability workshops for the employees emphasizing energy conservation and safety protocols. We're going to give them the proper care and the proper health and care which they require. But with that, we're also working on the protocols and the saving of the energy as well. Economic recommendation, however, is operational efficiency. Replace old machinery with energy efficient models to reduce energy consumption and cost. That is transferring to modern methods. Diversification. Expand into renewable energy projects like green hydrogen production to reduce dependency on oil revenues. Like Saudi is known for oil production, oil extraction, rich in oil, and everything. People generate electricity from it. But just because of the awareness, UP, like Saudi has shifted to SDG goals, which is an excellent thing. Like we can get the hydrogen production as well. That's possible too from gases. Implementation timeline, how it looks like. Immediate action 0 to 6 months. Now it's a longer one because it's a big company, it's a multinational. Launch employee training and awareness programs. Begin pilot testing of carbon capture technology. Once you have trained the workers, then you can what you can do start running small batch tests. Phase 2 short term goals 6 to 18 months. Replace outdated machinery in critical facilities, implement renewable energy projects like solar panels. Because once you install the solar systems, in the start, you're not going to get energy just in a few days or even in weeks. It takes months to get the bill to zero. Phase 3 long term goals 18 plus months will integrate renewable energy across the operation, the whole department. Monitor and optimize the CCS systems for the peak efficiency that we installed for the energy consumption. Outcome of the sustainability audit. Following the audit, Saudi Aramco successfully implemented many of the recommendations. Key results were reduced emission. The company achieved a 10% reduction in the GHG emission within the 2 years with plans to cut emissions further. And because they have installed the solar panel systems, it will help them out more to be work on the profit maximization side. Energy costs decreased by 20% due to renewable energy adoption and machinery upgrades because there were less repairs, there were less testings. Improved community relation. Planting over 2 million trees and engaging with the local communities restored trust and enhanced the company's reputation as well. Definitely, you are known about it. Even you did it once, but people are going to always remember the good thing. Conclusion. This real life scenario demonstrates how sustainability audit can guide. This real life scenario demonstrates how sustainability audit can guide the organizations in identifying critical gaps and implementing actionable solutions. And this is what you need to do in your assignment, most probably that you did with the Dr. Lakshmi. In most probably task 2 or 3, you have to make a sustainability audit. And I tried my best that I can tell you people and show you how we go for it. I added examples as well and explained the steps too. Saudi Aramco's effort align with the Vision 2030 goals, providing that sustainability is not only an ethical choice but also an economically viable one. That's true. It's not necessary that we need to go with the fashion or with the industry norms or with the global norms. It is a necessity for the every economy, whether it is rich with oil or not. By reducing its environmental impact and improving the efficiency, Aramco has set a benchmark for other organizations in Saudi Arabia to follow. And people are doing. Yeah, it was Fanar. Yeah, Fanar Construction Company in Riyadh. It's an SME basically, and they are making sustainable residential plots as well, and going for the commercial one. They even got the award by the government as well. So there are so many companies which are started to adopt these things. That's it. If you have any queries, you can discuss